Welcome everyone to this next video. I know I've been off the scene in regards to Ninja and Fab in general, and it's pretty much all due to this video, to be honest, as I've been taking a step back from just the Ninja chains and looking for something different, looking at all the generic cards across the three sets that we have at the moment, and trying to find something new and a different play style to see if it worked and if it was worth pursuing. So mixed results from this, a lot of lost games, a few games with promise, but nothing from the majority of cards that gave me any indication of consistency that allowed it to go through the deck. So what I'm going to do today is I've got a whole bunch of the generic cards from across the three sets, so settle in. It might be a long one. If you need to stop this video, go get a cuppa or something. I've got a black tea here, no sugar, pretty much just colored water. And we're going to go through each of the cards that I was testing and some that I haven't tested that I look back on and go, maybe there's something there. And if this inspires someone to go back through their deck, whether Ninja or another class, and actually start using some other types of cards to catch their opponents out, give their deck a little bit of difference, maybe that's a great thing. Now, for Ninja specifically, I was running one or two other chains within the deck. I believe it was just mainly one other chain with generic cards, with some cards here and there popping up from, a Torrent of Tempo or anything like that, maybe something from the kick chain. And the whole idea of this was for me to secure my Ninja cards towards the end of game. So any of my combo cards, if I could, I would be throwing back into the deck, using them for energy to play all these generic cards. The whole idea for the generic cards were some big attacks, and that's what we're going to be seeing through this. Not this card on the screen, unfortunately. Oh, it is a 6 attack though, and this is not one of the cards I use, so I didn't really look at it. But anyway, carrying on, I wanted to use up all my generic attacks, really forcing the opponent to go, what the hell is just happening? They've just sided out a whole bunch of cards, preparing for the Ninja attacks, going wide, but all of a sudden I'm going a little bit high, not as high as a lot of people. Now, feedback from opponents was that, other classes do what I was trying to do better, which I take that on, I personally do. However, the other classes can't do what Ninja does, and that is go wide as Ninja does. And so being able to get your chain cards in for the late game, allowing you to be a powerhouse at the end of game and surviving through the first part of the game by doing some big hits and using those cards for defense as well, was all part of what I was going for. The bad thing about the generic cards, the majority of them only have 2 defense, and this is what really puts me aside with that, and what I've ended up with in a view. Right now I'm running a Ninja deck that has a little bit of both, but mainly concentrating on the main Ninja chains that are in there, which I believe are 2 chains, and that'll be another video. But let's get started onto these. Settle back and let's get started. So first we have Rifting. This is not a card I tried out, but looking at it right now, if Rifting hits, you may play your next non-attack action card as though it were an instant. So if you're going for, potions or anything like that, this is fantastic, being able to slap down the potion without causing an action. So it's something to look at. The 2 cost, and this is another aspect of generic cards which I had to learn, was paying for cards, which now I'm actually quite comfortable in paying for cards, as opposed to when I was playing purely Ninja, where I was a bit of a miser with resources. I didn't really want to spend anything, zeros were the way to go. Now I actually don't mind. After throwing myself in, there must have been a month or 2 months that I've been playing around with this. So that's my dedication to my Ninja style play style. I just want to be able to be competitive. I don't net deck, and I just want to create something new out there, and I don't believe all possibilities have been found. So Rifting, not bad. You know, if it hits, you can play your next attack action card as though it were an instant. Yeah, no, pretty good. And catching your opponent out with the 6 attacks straight off the bat when they're expecting a sword. Maybe you do go forward with Kadashi and then a Rifting. You know, people are like, whoa, hang on. You know, they've blocked the second Kadashi and you're not drawing off mask. This hasn't got go again. You know, they might allow one through. Who knows? Or they might just fully block the whole thing. And 4, if you wanted to go for the blue. Look, even as a blue, I think this is worth it. With a 4 attack, you know, any normal cards blocking for 3, that's still a 2 card block on this. Yeah, very good. Alright, come to fight. The next attack action card you play this turn gains +3, go again. So, not bad. It has no issues in regards to card costs or anything. It gives +3 right across the board for that 1 cost. So if you're playing down a blue, you might, you know, throw this down, Kadashi, and then throw down another attack, or do 2 Kadashis and then throw down the next attack with your next card paying for whatever it might be. Maybe even a Rifting giving you 9, and therefore you can play your last card as a potion down on the table. Oof, and maybe something from Arsenal. Who knows? Who knows? There's a whole bunch of possibilities through this. Come to fight in blue. Not bad, especially if you're needing to fuel stuff. I don't know why I haven't got the yellows in here. That's strange. Alright, Foresight. The next attack action card you play gains +3. So very much like Come to Fight. Next, op 2. Look at the top 2 cards. So really assisting you to get maybe some of those ninja cards back down at the bottom of the deck, because you don't want them at the beginning. You do want your generic cards in there to use them, to use the opponent's equipment, which is very important, especially for your Kadashi strikes later in game, and to get some of their defense actions out of hand. Now, if you're coming up against Guardian, who is like crushing you every turn, which has happened to me time and time again, they're getting so consistent, it can really be annoying, because all you're doing is being on the defense, not wanting to take a lot of these crushes. But you know what? When they don't get the crushes, you're doing just fine. Yeah. Alright. Foresight. So, lead the charge. 1, I tried to play. I didn't really find it as effective. Ninja can get go again. It does better with go again than with another action. However, it is a 0 cost, and it does give you the action points. If you play an action card with 0 or greater this turn, gain 1 action point. Does allow you to maybe do 2 potions if you really needed to. Having 2 potions in the deck though could be a bit risky, especially on defense. I like lead the charge in blue. But it's a cost of 2 or greater, which works with your other generic cards. A lot of them can be 2 costs and greater. I tried Sunkiss. You know, gaining 3 is pretty good. If you have played, yeah, it gains go again. So I did play Moonwish and Sunkissed. It really wasn't moving for me. I'm not sure exactly why, but the 2 defense really hurts. If this was 3 defense, I think I could get it to work. But yeah, Gorgonian Tome I didn't actually use. You know, I don't see anyone using this. I don't know. Draw X cards where X is 1 plus the number of Gorgonian Tomes in all graveyards is 1 plus the number. Yeah, so you get 1 for your Gorgonian Tome. Seeing no other one play this, I'm not really sure. It's just a replacement. It's thinning your deck out. You know, they say deck thinning is deck winning, but this could be going a bit too far with that. I really like to see what other people are doing with Gorgonian Tome. Now, Promise of Plenty is a card that I love. Surprisingly not, and not for the red either. So, if Promise of Plenty hits, each hero who doesn't have a card in their arsenal puts the top card of their deck face down into their arsenal. So I love playing this from my arsenal as a surprise to the opponent, especially if they've got an arsenal in there. And I don't play it for 3, I play it for 1. You know why? Because it's annoying and people most likely will let a 1 through, especially if I've gone Kadashi and they've blocked with their equipment. Then I throw out a Promise of Plenty. It's already got Go Again because it's come from my arsenal. If they allow this through, I'm going to be putting a card into my arsenal, but it's got Go Again, so they've got to think about the next attack that's coming. So I love it. The fact that I can throw this out as energy, 0 cost, so I can use it for Katsu's ability. And yeah, it's just a really annoying card. Throwing out the red, you don't get as much purpose from it. Yeah, it's a 3 attack, but you're only getting 1 resource by pitching it. More likely they're going to block this card. They're less likely to block a blue. So if anything has come out of like the generic cards that I've come to love, it's Promise of Plenty, and just for that reason. All right, here we go. Another great card. So Reinforce the Line, played as a generic instant. The important thing about this card is you have to let the combat go. You don't get excited and play this card, okay? You need to play your defense, have them attack react, you defense react, and you need that to pass. As soon as both people have passed and we go towards a damage step, you stop it there, you throw down Reinforce the Line. Now they cannot react to Reinforce the Line. You've just given something +4 and thereby you're not taking the damage. You need to wait for that step to end, and that's why Reinforce the Line is such a fantastic card. I actually play it as yellow because I really appreciate the resource that it gives me. I can throw it out for a Katsu ability. This and Promise of Plenty, fantastic cards. Blue Promise of Plenty, yellow Reinforce the Line. I'll tell you now, I think these 2 cards that I've just mentioned are going to be the MVPs of all the generic cards. No, this does not block. It is unfortunate. Promise of Plenty doesn't block for very much either. But for what they do for the deck and for you staying alive, I think they're fantastic. Reinforce the Line, I have been caught out a few times where I don't actually have a defending attack card. That's just the way it goes. If you're looking for consistency, you need to get more attack cards into your deck. Alright, as for blue, look, the +2 is nice, +3 is better obviously, and +4 is fantastic, but I like the middle line just due to the resource that it gives me. Brutal Assault, look, great card, and it's another one of those ones that I really like. There doesn't seem to be much on it. You're paying 2, you're getting 6 attack, it blocks for 3. That's the special thing about this card, don't overlook it. So even at blue, it's a 4 attack. 4 attack, 3 defense. Yeah, it's costing you 2, but they're going to be using 2 cards to stop this normally unless they're playing a defense reaction. Okay? Doesn't have Go Again, doesn't need it. Using it for energy to fuel other things. I usually play the red and the blue, and you know, they're those 3 cards that I just mentioned. Pretty good. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, Fanduels. I've been using Fanduels more throughout these decks. I find that the threat aspect of Fanduels, while keeping that constant energy flow going, especially towards late game, and the ability that it can block late game when you need to throw it away, is pretty good. Yeah. All right. Goliath Gauntlet. So if you are playing the idea of the big attacks in Ninja, you need to put your equipment down, face down, and present it to the table with your leader upright. Everyone's going to see most likely 2 pieces of 2 weapons, and they're going to see 4 pieces of equipment. They're back so, and that's what you're presenting it as. You don't need to flip it over at that point. When you flip over Goliath Gauntlet instead of the Breaking Skulls, people are going to go, what? What's going on? Then you've just, throughout the game, you might do something like your, let's get back to it, Rifting. You know, you've just given it 8, fantastic. So it's a nice surprise being Goliath Gauntlet. Do not show the opponent. Make sure they've sideboarded their cards and done whatever they're going to do, preparing for a base ninja attack, and then hit them with the Goliath Gauntlet and they're going, oh no, what did I just do? I've sided out all my immovables and so forth. What am I coming up against? Yeah. All right. So I love this. Like I said, I've gone back to normal ninja, playing with various different cards, but Goliath Gauntlet, fantastic when you've got a few of those 2 attacks in hand. Yeah. All right, Tome of Fanduel. I haven't been playing it at all. Still pretty good. I think there's other cards that fit into the deck a bit better, and when you're getting tight for deck space, Tome of Fanduel just hasn't made it in my book. I'd love to see some other ninja decks with maybe it being used. Right, last ditched effort. Look, I like it. It's a 3 defense. It is 3 energy. And you know what? If this is one of the last cards in your deck and you are using it for energy, just trying to get it in there, you know, a lazy +4. Pretty good, yeah. Also, for attack, it does cost a lot, but you are using it for end of game and you're using it for its pitch value. All right, Crazy Brew. Did not get to really play with this much. At the moment, it's just too risky. A 1 in 3 chance to gain the benefits, but it's also a 1 in 3 chance to lose two life. In a game that comes down to, in some cases, where you're on 1 life, they're on 2 life, or vice versa, or that close, it does get pretty hard, yeah? Remembrance. I have been playing this in the deck. I went for 2. I went down to 1. The ability to get certain kill cards back into your deck, it's very good, and you just gotta hope that you're not caught in there. I remember early in on the game, I had thrown that back in. I had not Katsu'd throughout the whole game, and I was coming towards the end of the deck, and I was like, oh, please do not grab this in the next 4 cards, because I knew I had to defend. Bang, 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 bang. Thank goodness I didn't draw it. After the game, not sure if I won or lost, it really doesn't matter. I went through that and it was in the next hand. If I had picked up the next hand that was coming out, it would have been a tragedy. So it is a good idea if you're having Katsu to, or you're playing any other leader, you need to know where this card is, yeah, if you haven't played it. Alright, Drone of Brutality. Look, 2 costs, 6 attack. I keep forgetting the fact that it's 6 attack. Look, it's a great card, and like one of our players successfully uses it with his, well, with all his decks really. It's just a card that survives at the end. He's got 3 cards at the end of the game and he just keeps cycling those cards with a 6 attack, paying for 2. It's a good card. I haven't really put it in the deck. Maybe I should. Even at 4 attack, giving you the 3 resources for ninja, this could be pretty good. You know, you're in late game, you got 3 of these cards left in your deck, you throw 1 out, you pitch 1, you attack with 2 Kadashis, you pitch the other one, and then you come through with 4 attack. It's consistent pressure, it's not just that one. Oh no, you can't. No, sorry, my mistake. Drone of Brutality won't give it the Kadashis go again. So, can't use it for that. Probably just going to go with the red. I think blue has merit. I just haven't really thought about it too much. Alright, here we go. Snatch. Just going to go past Snatch. Energy Potion. Always good for ninja to get the 2 energy, even more so when you got generic cards. So yeah, if you're able to get this at the end of attack or as an instant, then yeah, slap it down on the table. Always useful. Potion of Strength. Huh. Now it is an action, so if you are doing your chain and then you want to pop one of these for your next attack, it does break the chain, so be aware of that. I have not included this in the deck, so I saw Kale making great use of this card for Blitz. So yeah, at the moment, haven't tested it, would love to see a ninja deck making the use of this. Yeah, I think it would be fantastic to see Ninja come out with some really big hits that the opponent didn't expect due to stuff like this. And Time Snap Potion, gain 2 action points. Look, I'm more of a go again guy than an action guy. I can definitely see the uses for it. I have really gone towards the energy potion though to fuel the attacks. Once again, love to see someone using it. Sigil Solitude. Look, everyone seems to be using this at the moment. It's really annoying getting the opponent down only for them to play Sigil Solitude. Like, you're getting like 9 life in a game where I'm trying to beat them down. Alright, Barraging Braun High, the first of the big cards that I would play that people would be like, what? And then they pick the card, look at it, making sure. But yeah, if it's defended by less than 2 equipment cards, it gains +1. So that's really an 8 attack. Unless they're defending with 2 cards. So, pretty good. I really like it, other than the fact that it defends for 2, which has been the reason why I've had to potentially go off that line. It's a shame. If that was a 3 defense, this would be a monster card, I reckon, for generics. Alright. 6 attack at yellow and 5 attack at blue. That is huge. That is an attack reaction card +1. Yeah, so it's 2 cards to defend against, even a blue, which is giving you 3 resources. And remember, if they're only using 1 card to block with, then it's actually a 6 attack. Yeah, very good for blue. I think this card has been overlooked by too many people, to be honest. Demolition Crew, tried to use this a bit. Reveal a card in your hand with a cost of 2 or greater. Gains Dominate. Yeah. 6 attack. I wish it was more than 6. I didn't find it to be that fantastic. It was useful when I put it down on the table and people are like weirded out and don't know what the card is, and it's harder to play against stuff that you don't know unless you adapt quickly. So yeah, they didn't know where the deck was going when I was drawing these type of cards out. Once again, 2 defense. Flock of the Featherwalkers, I didn't really get to put these in decks yet. Something that I'm going to be playing with the Welcome to Wraith line, when that was the only set out. This was quite prevalent, not only in Ninja, until a lot of Ninja players realised that the 1 cost was really getting in the way of your Kadashi attacks as well as your Katsu ability. But like Warrior decks, oh, it was just terrible. Alright, here we go. Nimble Strike. I really tried to put this in and make it work. As an additional cost, banish a card and it gains +1. You know, red paying 1 for 4 to 5. It's got go again if you're able to do the Nimble Strike. Nimbleism, sorry, but you need Nimbleism in your graveyard, so you need to have already played it. It's that balance about, there are no cards that tutor anything out really in Flesh and Blood, especially back in the Welcome to Wraith. Who knows what Monarch's bringing out that may make a card like this really like take on a new life. But at the moment, it really didn't do the magic for me, and at 2 defense, it just had to go out. Raging Onslaught. Now, this is a card I really liked. Nothing special about it. It's 3 defense, 7 damage. Yeah, it's costing you 3. It's 6 damage and 5 damage at blue, so you can use it for the resources, you can use it for the blocking ability, and it's 3. Yeah, a very good card. I like it. Now, if I was to compare that to the other one, bear with me, which was the Assault. Let me just go back on that. Like I said, we're going to be here for a little bit, guys. Alright, let's see. Right, that's Raging Onslaught. Let's get back to Brutal Assault. So Brutal Assault is 6, but it costs 2 and 3. So, you know, for 1 less, I'm leaning towards Brutal Assault. Then again, the extra damage that you get from Raging Onslaught could be well worth it. Yeah, 5 damage. Yeah, very good. I really like the blue in Raging Assault. I think, once again, another overlooked card, and it's really sad that these cards are made for the game, and you know they've been put in there for a reason, and I think people overlook them. This is a very good card. I do like it. Right, forget about Scar for a Scar, it's standard card. Scour the Battlescape, you can put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck if you do draw a card. So, not bad, you know, it allows you to cycle through your cards, especially if you're not seeing something. Does suffer the fact that it is only 2 defense, so it consistently doesn't make the cut, just due to that, you know, low attack values. You know, I even love the blue because of the resources, even though it does 1, but that 2 defense really kills me. Regurgitating Slog, I really wanted to play Slogism, but I just can't justify this. The 2 defense, once again, is killing this card. There's additional cost to play. You may banish a card named Sogism from your graveyard. If you do, it gains Dominate. You know, they're only defending with 1 card, but it's only doing 6. You also need Slogism in... Right. Yeah, you need Slogism in your graveyard. Yeah, otherwise you're stuck with this card in hand. It's only 2 defense. I'm not loving it. Not loving it at all. And I really do want to love it. I do. You can do Goliath Gauntlet on top of this, giving it more. But then again, it needs more cards. So it just didn't make the cut. Love this card though, Wounded Bull. Even with its 2 defense, when you play Wounded Bull, if you have less than your opponent, it gains +1. So yeah, there were times when I was happy to take an attack because I had this in hand. Then I'd play this, and the opponent just not expecting it, especially your first turn. If you've gone second, they've hit you, you've taken like 1 damage maybe, you've blocked with a few things, but you made sure that you kept this 1 card in your hand, you draw back up, then you play down Wounded Bull. You know, you've thrown maybe Lord of Wind in, you've done Kadashi, you throw down another card, you play Wounded Bull. Yeah, fantastic. 8 damage, just don't expect it. This is an Enlightened Strike, it's fantastic. Yeah. Now, even at blue, doing 5 to 6 damage, pretty good. Thing that kills it, once again, is the defense value. You just want this as a surprise card, maybe 1 or 2 in the deck at red. I don't even know if I'd put blue in at this stage, being with 2 defense. It's merely an attack, and a surprise attack at that. Wounding Blow. Look, I like this card for the fact that it's 0 costs. It is 3 defense. It's not doing a hell of a lot of damage, and there are just better cards, ninja cards, with Go Again that will give me similar or the same result, or that has combo on it. So yeah, I just can't justify this one. I really want to, being a 0 cost and a 3 defense. I just can't find the room in it. I did at the beginning, and I went for red and blue. Yeah, you can Katsu with it, so there are benefits to it. Pummel. Alright, throwing in the Pummels was a nice big surprise for people, because once they get over the fact that you're playing generic cards and big cards, then you follow it up with a Pummel, they know the game is real. Especially, you know, I went for the blue Pummels just for their energy as well. Yeah, it's not defending for amount that's great, but the extra damage that Pummels are putting down, and the fact that they have to discard a card, just wrecks opponent. Now I was able to steal a few games just with the use of Pummel and some of these generic cards. Once again, the whole fact that it wasn't consistent, and if I'm going to go for a pure generic deck, other leaders are just doing it better. If I'm going to be using Katsu, I need to be looking at what benefits he provides, being the 2 Kadashis plus his ability to do the Katsu ability with the combo card. So it can't be too generic specific, because other leaders just do it better. Yeah, but Pummel is a nice surprise. Also a nice surprise if you're playing the Surging Strike and then you hit with this. Wow, especially if they're losing 1 card out of hand. This is a great thing about Pummel, and I really haven't included this enough, that if you hit with Surging Strike with a Pummel, they're discarding 1 card, sets up for your next 2 cards along the chain that are really going to have an effect to get your Lord of Wind off. Yeah, then playing with 1 less card is a good thing for you. Let's get past unmovable. Let's get past. Alright, Nimbleism, the next attack card with a cost of 1 or less you play this turn gains +3. Wasn't too bad in the generic cards, with the generic cards that I played. I keep getting told that this was only for draft. This card was in there and otherwise it's bad. Look, I've seen people use it quite effectively, and I love the fact that people can use it quite effectively and do so. I've seen Azalea use it very effectively to get that +3. And if you're able to get any bit of damage above on your attack that gives you the possibility to Katsu, is well worth it in my opinion. Could you imagine playing down the second chain along after Surging Strike by itself, then you snap the legs for the go again up. You know, after you've played this, you got more chance to get your Lord of Wind off further down the chain. Right, my mind's a bit mud at the moment, can't remember the card names. Sogism, alright, I think we're getting right to the end of this, guys. This is quicker than what I expected. Yep, we're right at the end. Right, the next attack action card with 2 or greater you play this turn gains +6. This is crazy. Look, other leaders just do it better. But +6 on card that costs 2 or more. So you have to pay 3 of it. I'm going to see how can you do this with Ninja. Like, and using Ninja's ability. Right, so you've got to throw down your 3 costs. You play this. Maybe you crack your straps and then play Surging Strike to get, you know, that would be something like, it's a 5 attack on red, becomes 11 attack. Wow, yeah. Definitely going to be Katsuing on that. That's, look, no one, absolutely no one will expect a Sogism if you're able to put it into play and get that going. By itself, it's a funny card. Look, at blue it's fantastic as well, giving you +4 on action card with 2 or greater. But with Ninja, it's how many of those 2 costs are you putting in your deck? If you're playing the generic lines, then yes, this could be a card well worth it. If you're playing like Ninja cards, it's pretty hard just to put it in for Surging Strike, yeah? Alright. So that is everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if it inspires anyone to like make something different or explore different avenues to provide something different to the community than the standard decks you see out there in the competition area, and I don't believe that the competition scene has seen all the decks. There are so many more, and I don't believe a person like Jim White creates generic cards that are not meant to be used and that he doesn't have a plan for in the future. So Monarch is coming. I believe it's going to open up the game even more. So my suggestion is to start looking at all the cards that you have available and in the set to you and figure out different ways to use them to surprise your opponents. All you need to do is win that 1 game a week against every single opponent. Then you might take it out because they might be subbing in cards just for that. You know what? We didn't actually hit one of the other cards, which I'm very surprised at. Bear with me one moment. There is one other card. Look, it's called Chains of Eminence. Kept coming up against Brute with its defense reaction, which does 2 damage to me. So effectively, if they've got 3 of them in the deck, I've got 6 less life to play with. So while they're playing with 40 life, I'm on 34. Like I said, my mind's mud at the moment with the amount of games I've been playing. So when it comes down, I can't get to 6 life while they've got Reckless Swing, possibly in Arsenal, or they've been using it for energy, okay? And they haven't been defending with it either. So if you've got Chains of Eminence, fantastic card, pretty much tells them that they cannot play that. Now, yeah, look, the video's on, I'm not going to go look for it right now, but you name Reckless Swing and they can't play that card. It's a fantastic out to going up against Brute, so that's possibly another card that depends on, tournament or your locals that you're going into, take a look at that card. Very good. All right. So along with that, Promise of Plenty, Brutal Assault, and Reinforce the Line. Yeah, take a look, guys. There's plenty out there in the generic scene. Have a great one. See you on the next video. And yeah, keep playing. It's a fantastic game. See you all.